In this video, I'll discuss the microbiome and skincare. Before we get started, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to share and like this video. Now, let's get going. So the microbiome is actually a very interesting phenomenon. It is the entire microbial population that grows on any area of the body, the skin included, and many other areas of the body have their own microbiome. In fact, every area of the skin has its own unique microbiome makeup, and that means that it has its own unique microbial, as in bacterial population, its own fungal population, its own viral population, its own protozoal population, and other microscopic non-human life forms that make up this environment that lines up the skin and the crevices of the skin and adjacent organs. So this phenomenon came into focus over the past decade or so, and the more we find out about it, the more fascinating it becomes. And as we understand it now, the microbiome can actually affect quite a few elements of human health, including mental health, cardiovascular health, endocrinological health, and probably every aspect of human biology is affected by the makeup of the microbiome and its interaction with the human organism. So the microbiome is very important. But what's also very interesting about the microbiome is that it is infinitely complex. It's made up of so many different species, and these species are by nature highly mutable, unlike the human being, which is a little bit more slow to mutate and to change. Microbes can change very easily. They can be put under a significant amount of stress for whatever environmental factor or other elements, and their genome or other elements that characterize those microbial life forms can change on a dime, or it can change pretty quickly, and some of them irreversibly. So the microbiome is, first of all, important to human biology in ways that some of which we don't fully understand, but we do know that there are great associations between microbial function and human health and disease. And then again, the microbiome is highly mutable and easy to change with all sorts of stressors and stimuli, and therefore changing the microbiome may possibly change the direction of a human being's health. And these interactions with the microbiome might very well change someone's direction in life as far as being healthier or being sicker, suffering from this condition or not suffering from that condition. Now, what's interesting about the microbiome and skin is that it's easily accessible. This is unique because the microbiome of the lungs or the respiratory tract or the microbiome of the gut, these are more difficult to manipulate and to access, whereas the skin is highly accessible. And one of the most common elements that access skin is skincare. And skincare products have many different ingredients in them. Many of them are intentionally antimicrobial, and that class is called preservatives. Preservatives are intentionally spiked into products to make them more resilient to microbial degradation and growth, meaning increase their shelf life, maybe increase their safety profile so you don't have as many microbes growing in the product as you apply to the skin or the skin of a loved one. But preservatives have also an antimicrobial effect or an element that could affect the microbiome on the skin. And this is coming into focus, especially in recent years. People are paying more and more attention to that. Now, preservatives have kind of fallen out of favor in the past few decades due to their potential allergenicity or irritability of the skin. So these elements are not without side effects that have nothing to do with the microbiome. They can actually cause irritation or allergic reactions, and they can nullify a whole product just by existing in the product to preserve it. They can actually make the product unusable for certain people who develop allergies to that certain ingredient that is there in the product to preserve it, or those ingredients can be irritating to someone's skin, again, making the product unusable, and they have to find an alternative. But as we learn more and more about the microbiome and skincare product, it becomes evident that a lot of the ingredients in skincare products, not necessarily only the preservatives, can actually affect the microbiome. And why wouldn't they? I mean, logically, we have no idea what the interaction or the relationship is of any of these ingredients to the microbiome and what the effects are. And as it turns out, many skincare products and many skincare ingredients in those products alone and in combinations can affect the microbiome. Such a report actually came out back in 2021 from Castillo and colleagues under the guidance of Ian Miles, who's a great researcher at the NIH. And what this group found out is that skincare products and individual ingredients alone and in combination can affect microbial growth in various directions, either inhibiting it or promoting it, some not affecting that at all. And those can actually have effects on the way the microbes interact with skin cells, affecting wound healing and affecting irritability of skin. And the ingredients alone or in combination had different interactions with the microbiome. So this is actually quite complicated, and the relationships or the interactions are far more complex than anyone can imagine. Now, this study only looked at a limited number of microbial population elements, in bacteria at that. They did not quite go into fungi, although they make a note about fungal elements that are affected with skincare products or ingredients. And they certainly didn't look at viruses or other elements of the microbiome. And they did that under lab conditions. So we're not talking about the whole human being. And we're obviously not talking about a population study. We're just talking about in vitro conditions and animal models. So this is a pretty basic study, and already in that very basic study, which was, by the way, quite detailed, certain elements come to attention that tell us that this is a highly complex story that is probably only at the very beginning of our discovery of what is going on there. Now, we do know that microbial elements of the skin microbiome can contribute to skin disease and skin health. And the same group has shown in the past that a certain microbe or a certain bacterium that is found on skin commonly called Rhosiomonas mucosa can actually be transferred from healthy volunteers to people with atopic dermatitis and make their condition much better, improve their atopic dermatitis. So that individual bacterial species can actually pull the trigger on setting the condition for atopic dermatitis, or alternatively, making the skin less prone for atopic dermatitis, a very complicated skin condition with plenty of consequences for the sufferer. So the microbiome, again, is a highly complex organism, if you will, or phenomenon that occurs around and inside the human body. And skin has its own microbiome with individual areas having their own microbial makeup that is unique to those areas and likely unique to every individual. That's why we have variances in skin conditions occurring in certain individuals and not occurring in others. Besides genetics and other environmental factors, the microbiome may be playing a very significant role in personal tendencies towards skin conditions and skin health. So what is the bottom line out of all of this? We have a very complex system, highly mutable, surrounding the entire person and involved in one's health and one's propensity towards disease. Well, the bottom line is that we need to, first of all, take heed and study this extensively, do research, find out more details as we go. But I think most importantly is, first of all, be humble about the complexity of nature, the miraculous nature of the human being and the things in nature that surrounds it, that makes it all come together, including the microbiome. And also, very, very importantly, tread lightly. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to share and like this video. For more information and a thorough discussion of the microbiome and its relation to skin and skincare, pick up my book, Six Skin, Skincare Made Simple, on Amazon.com, now available in audio. Thanks for watching. God bless.